Hey, hey, what's up, collective? I'm Phoenix, Prince of Lemuria. Please join my channel and support um, the tarot readings and the downloads. Um, every like, every subscribe gets me closer to uh, reaching a bigger platform and the world. So yeah, I'd eventually like to do this full time, but that's kind of what I'm doing. But yeah, this is a Pleiadian collective download, and this is for all the star seeds out there. This is for all the lovers out there. This is for all the heroes out there. This is for all the heroines out there. Um, you could be a badass magician, manifesting, quantumly rearranging your life, manifesting, molecularly changing physics to create the perfect world in this timeline, in this matrix reality that we live in. So, yeah, uh, the subject today that I wanted to talk about is, I wanted to do a bit of healing on the super soldier collective out there. And you might be wondering what I mean by super soldier, Mike next door, he drinks the good milk, he drinks the full cream and he can fly. No, I mean, I'm talking about the starseeds out there that are aware of, it's a bit of an interesting download. The starseeds out there that have been connected to the SSP, to the secret space program, and also just anyone dealing with ancestral curses and uh, bloodline contracts and stuff like that, and also with fourth dimensional beings and ETs. So I wanted to reach out to the super soldier community, and also this video is kind of directed a little bit at the U.F.O community. So it's a bit of an alternative video. I'll still guide the reading with tarot cards, but I'm going to read for anyone out there who is spiritually ascending and is awake, evolving, and aware of all the stuff hidden behind the scenes. So with the secret space program, literally, for those who haven't researched it, almost every country has a stake in this, in the black projects, where all the black budgets go. So all the money siphoned off, when America is, loses $60 million, it's going on the U.F.O projects in the secret space program. So yeah, it's a really interesting time, especially with the white hats working to collectively move the Draco grip on the planet. So, they've only just changed the contract with the Draco reptilians, where they can't harvest any more human abductees, which they were using for human meat, and also for DNA trading, for slave labor, and for military uses. A lot of homeless people, a lot of children were going missing. It was all connected to the elite and the contracts they made with the reptilians and the greys and certain other fourth dimensional races. So just a little bit about me before I get into this. I'm an abductee, nothing major, but I've had three major experiences in my life where I've been really sure it was ET contact. I've had dream contact from Pleiadians. When I was 15, I experienced my first contact with, they were like spiritual grey aliens, and they came at a time when my Kundalini was raising. If you study the occult, when a male and female reaches about 15, 16, their Kundalini starts to activate. so their root chakra and all their past life abilities start to come into play. We have a lot of past life abilities. Like if we had all the collective knowledge of our like hundreds of thousands of lives, we would know exactly what to do right from birth. Like we would be doing math equations at 1 year old, and we would know how to increase longevity and wade through relationships and persevere in things that we love. We would have all the answers to our problems. So this is a bit of an interesting topic. So apparently in Atlantis, there was the Anubis, the wolf god, who was connected to Thoth and the original seeders of the planet. Anubis, or Ra as he was once known, was one king of that time, but apparently he lost a lot of his technology to the Zeta Reticuli, and that technology was mind-swiping technology. So the fourth dimension's above the third. It's more of a dream time type reality. It's still real. We're going through the fourth dimension right now and ascending into the fifth, but it's like a birthing process, and there's collective cramping, and there's also a lot of like souls are just waking up. Some of the people that are just cluing on now are having life-changing events, including illnesses, awakenings, relationship stuff, questioning things they're going through, just looking outside the TV, outside the box. But for the rest of the collective, a lot of you are going through spiritual cramps and spiritual ascension. So there's like a jump to a new timeline, and a lot of people are reactivating their Atlantean and extraterrestrial DNA, which is energetic. But as we move into the fifth dimension, because it's really the planet, the female planet, the goddess Gaia, she's moving into 5D, and she's taking anyone with a pure heart with her. So there is, what happened was when the Cedar races, made us through the Nephilim and through the Anunnaki and through various Cedar races, they all took turns at adding DNA. Apparently Enki added the special DNA, his own DNA, and he had ascension DNA that was connected to the bird tribe, which is above the reptilian brain. You've got the bird brain. So it's the idea that the dragon would ascend into the phoenix in a DNA helix, because the Draco were at some point royal extraterrestrial dragons that were fully in tune with peace and love. And there is still the dragon father races out there. So it's interesting. It's an interesting subject, but so we've all got reptilian DNA, but we've all been manipulated in the past. In ancient times, we've had our DNA meddled with. So there's Enki and Anu wanted to wipe out the planet with the floods. He's more of a military man. You get into interesting subjects like about Satan and stuff, which was really Sumerian and Aramaic for war general. It was just a title. So he was a general of an army. But the morning star, the angel, was not only guilty of disobeying God or the High Galactic Council, but also created his own bloodline races, which was completely taboo, because when you breed with a planet, when you mix with the genetics on that planet with the evolving race, you tie into their karma, and your children actually tie you onto the planet as karma. So a lot of people in the awakened community are like fully aware that they don't want children, and that's because they're collectively becoming aware as soul that they'll just tie themselves to extra lives and extra karma on the planet. And a lot of people are wanting to ascend the 3D, because people find life really hard, especially when you don't find the answers, like to things like eternal life and to superpowers and to exploration of the universe, like, which is what humans are passionate about. So yeah, I just wanted to start off saying that, yeah, as an abductee, I believe I'm a super soldier as well, on some level. We've all got parallel um, lives happening on different timelines, and astrally, it's very easy to take someone's soul out and put them in another body. Similar to cloning, you can be put in another clone's body, but you can also be put in an extraterrestrial's body, or into they have the technology now where they can freeze time and take you out of your reality, and work with you in like the fourth dimension doesn't really have time, like how dreams are much longer. And for any of you that have had a DMT trip, you're fully aware that when you're on that trip, time goes much differently. It can feel like an hour, or a days, when really it's just 10 minutes. That's why they call it the businessman's drug, because it lasts only 10 minutes. But yeah, so I just wanted to send love and light out to the contactee community. If you have been contacted by aliens, leave a little message down below in the link, because it's amazing how many people have experiences and never tell anyone because they think it's stupid. But when someone else talks about it, people open up. So yeah, I just wanted to send love out to the super soldier and contactee community, and also to the star seeds and to everyone. So just connecting to all the people, sending out purple flame fire, and dissolving any astral chips on anyone who's been chipped by negative entities or fourth dimensionals. I want to remind you that it's your right as a human. The word "hu" means light, so "hu man," light man. It's your right as a light man or a light woman to own your bloodline, own your DNA as a human, and you have the right to dissolve all negative contracts and soul chipping that might have happened on the dream time or in a different space. You have every right to reclaim your blood rights. You are royal. It doesn't matter if you are a firstborn here and you've only been here 20 seconds on the planet, or you're 90 or 150. You are royal because you are part of the human race. It is your bloodline. Humans are royal. We all come from Lyra, where a lot of the trauma in humans started out, because there was a huge war on Lyra. We were a highly evolved race of people, and we experienced longevity and immortality because we were in such a high vibrational state, close to the fifth dimension. We could live off, growing our plants and sending our plants love. We were a non-volatile race, and we never learned how to stand up for ourselves, but we lived off our food for months, and we barely had to eat. We were immortal at one point. So all these collective memories go back to a time when you were perfect, and also the trauma of being attacked by the reptilians. They really did retaliate once they found us. There was a miscommunication, and they thought it was easier to just destroy and create genocide, and they sent out weapons and destroyed Lyra. So we fled. Whoever survived fled and went to the Pleiades, went to Sirius, went to Orion, Andromeda, Arcturus. We went out to these places and we seeded life there. And so these places have evolved like the Pleiades. They're all also in the fifth and sixth dimension. The Pleiadians used to be warrior-like because they had to be fighting the reptilians. They're now more spiritual, but they're having to step into a more of a warrior kind of referee to guide humans. So they're wanting to evolve spiritually past all that duality of good and evil, but at the moment that we are their children. So we are the offshoots of a lost remnants of a beautiful human culture. And we are, in Atlantis, we had a lot of the Atlantean priestesses who would go into meditation, these women, and they would astral and go and fix all the timelines with their astral body. And so if you've ever encountered a really nice woman who's just gave you the right advice or was there at the right moment, and then a day later or a second later you look back and that person's not there, or their office has moved, or that could have been an Atlantean priestess. There's ways of astraling physically into other timelines and fixing them. So what happened was, it also happened on Mars, but basically in the time of Atlantis, these priestesses were so powerful they could open portals and doorways, and they let in they opened the wrong door, and they didn't check what was behind it first. And not only did the Draco come through, but also the real problem, which was the negative AI. So there was a lot of fourth dimensional stuff come through. Earth is a front line against AI controlled universes. We're a sacred garden here, where there's so many positive ETs that have invested in DNA, and father races that are collectively watching the planet and making sure that this world evolves in harmony with spirituality, because we're not going to get anywhere by just becoming technologically advanced. That won't help a child learn how to heal another child with energy, or to heal and rise above collective wounds and trauma, core wounding, and unless that person's emotionally developed and spiritually developed. And also other things like age reversing and like levitation, telepathy. Telepathy is a strong one. I'm getting a lot of you guys are getting telepathy, so it might be someone you are really connected with, and you can just talk to that person, and that person finishes your sentences, or what the other person's thinking, and there's less words, and you guys just know what each other are doing. Or it could be you experience actual telepathy. So I said I was a super soldier. The reason I say that was that my experiences throughout my life have led me to believe that I'm operating on some other level in other dimensions and this one. So I did, in 2012, I had quite a negative awakening. It was my first real awakening to Kundalini, and I learned about the serpent energy. I started seeing snakes everywhere, and I saw 3 cobras in the carpet, like these really, like 3 heads on one snake, and I thought I was just going crazy, but really I was opening up to the serpent energy, and I was really aggressive towards it. I saw it in the lawn, like I ripped up grass because it was shaped like a snake, and I was going crazy. I was losing sleep, and I was studying the paranormal for like 5 to 10 hours a day. But the thing is that during that time in that particular house in 2012, I woke up screaming one night, and it felt like people were doing surgery on me, on my genitals, and I was in complete pain and agony, and I could feel the person's hand on my testicles. It's a bit of a yeah, deep subject, but basically there wasn't any physical damage, but the next day I felt around one of my testicles and I can feel a metal chip on my balls. So there's actually, I think at one point the government had probed me, and I checked in with a psychic about that who lives in Washington, and I think he runs the station Out of This World Radio, and yeah, he did a deactivation on my chip, um, but he thinks it was the Dark Fleet that did that. It was the negative government with extraterrestrial technology, because the government has the technology to be able to, do abductions, freeze time, not necessarily, but to a point they can freeze time, and they also have God technology, so they can fake alien abductions. But the aliens that I saw when I was 15 were two greys, and they were spiritual, and yeah, they just they were. The reason I say they were spiritual is because they just had this kind of like warmth about them when I looked in their eyes, and they were only like 2 feet tall. There were two of them. They were like blue gray, and they had their hands up my feet, and they were kind of semi in the physical, semi not. And I saw the flashing craft outside the window. That was why I woke up, was the lights and the feeling in my feet. And I contacted Simon Parkes about that. If you look up Simon Parkes and Connecting Consciousness, really interesting guy. He runs a free organization, which is about awakening, and it all runs on coordinators and people donating, and he's the most abducted man on the planet, and he works a lot with the praying mantis ETs. So yeah, I contacted him about it, about my experiences, and I couldn't get much of I had an hour with him, but I only got 10 minutes. For some reason, the lines were fuzzy, and he managed to tell me that I'm of Lemurian descent, and that I have 100% pure good soul, and that at one point I wasn't physical, because I don't know if a lot of you starseeds out there are dealing with this, but a lot of you, like, of this generation, and even the generation above us, like, if you're dealing with, like, you feel like you haven't been in a body for ages, and like digesting and eating is a real big issue. Like food is a real big issue, like the 3D, feeding the body and fueling the body. Yeah, so I recommend like a vegetarian diet for you starseeds that are just for you guys that are just wanting to recalibrate your energy. Yeah, so plants have less karma. The reason I say be a vegetarian is also spiritually, you distance yourself from fourth dimensional holds of reptilian energy when you give up meat, because meat has the fear and the death in it, and it's also a heavy low vibration. Remember, reptilians are these huge creatures that are like 10 to 20 foot tall, and they're like heavy as, and they're like they're dense, even though they're on the fourth dimension. So when you lighten your vibration, you break that grip that they have, because they can connect to you if you're the same vibration. So it's important to lighten. The only way to escape a dense reality is to become such a high frequency that you vibrate on another reality altogether. So yeah, I'm getting in my channeling. Oh yeah, but to go into more depth about the super soldier stuff, because I think it needs to come out, and I might actually do a video on it, like completely, in the future. But even though I'm a tarot reader, it's like I need to reach out to the community. So it's like I've had I played around with Goetian magic for a while when I was like 25 or something, and 26, and yeah, I did planetary work on my astral bodies, because we all have, there's different realities in the astral, and like there's the mercurial body, the Venetian body, the moon body, which is like romance and mystery and illusion. Mercury's communication. You got like Saturn, which is about hard work and practicality and iron. So we've all got these bodies, and I did some body retrieval because sometimes your bodies go missing in action in dream time, because we're all dreaming right now. It's just waking life. It's just that when you actually go to sleep, you can actually access these places easily. Yeah, so and I also found HTP5 actually enhanced my dreams quite a lot. So if any of you are looking to enhance your dreams, you're telling me about dreaming, but I don't dream much. Try a bit of HTP5 because that seemed to create vivid dreams. But yeah, it's really. So I did some Goetian magic, and I was reading a book on the Pleiadians and the Vegans. And the Vegans are another extraterrestrial race from the Vegan system, and they are gaseous, like liquid type beings. So they're completely kind of like mist, so they can shapeshift, so to speak. And so their defense mechanism is that they can mimic any race of extraterrestrial, so they can actually take the form of a reptilian and go undercover and do stuff like that. And it's kind of like they spend their whole life studying how to shapeshift, and if they don't get to an advanced level, I think they become animal shapeshifters and become pets for high society in their own planet. But I was really annoyed about reading about it because once I got to the end of this book, from their point of view, planet Earth is like wild Africa, or it's like a zoo that they come to visit every now and then to see, how things are evolving and ascending. And I just felt as a starseed, knowing that I've been on other planets and lived other lives, in the Pleiades and in Lemuria. I was really angry that we were just animals to be visited. I'm hoping for a full, ET rescue here for planet Earth, like age ascension or age regression. Like I want to live to like 1,000 years. Like I've got a lot to do, a lot to see, and a lot of love to give. We're recreating Camelot. Like we're recreating Lemuria. We're Lemuria is rising. We are still in the dream of the collective Atlantis. We're still in the Egyptian, schools of Thoth. We're still in the mystic schools of Thoth, teaching each other as students. We've got to come together. So that's why I need you guys to like and subscribe and join. Just like and subscribe so that this following builds and I do more of these videos. But the thing is that, so I read the end of this book about the Pleiadians and the Vegans. I went outside and it was a stormy night. It was kind of cloudy. It was the perfect atmosphere. It was dark. The clouds are only 10, 20 foot above, and it was the perfect kind of moist energy for a storm. And I took out my wooden sword and my huge smoky quartz, and I shook it, at the universe, just thinking like, I'm going to direct this energy out there and say, we're not just animals. And the moment I did that, this huge Tesla-like liquid craft about the size of a school bus just appeared above me, just for like 3 seconds. It just went, and I was like looking up at it, and it was like a huge ball of plasma, but it was about the size of it. It was a craft, but it was about the size of a bus, and it was there for like 4 seconds, and then it just disappeared. And for me, that was confirmation that the ETs were aware that I'd read the book, and that they were coming to just say, hey, we got time for you. We got time for you. So I just wanted to say, as a channel download, you've got time. You've got time to reach, your loved ones. You've got time to reach your goals. You've got time to go inward. You've got time before you send that text. You've got time before you reach that appointment. You've got time to find a partner. You've got time to self-improve. You've got time to lose weight. You've got time to find your soulmate. You've got time to fix your past if you made a lot of mistakes. And when I did the Goetian, I played around with Goetian magic, and I did a soul body retrieval for Pluto. And if you're aware of the Goetian magic, there's 72 jinn or demons that King Solomon used to build the temple. But we're inside the temple right now. We literally are sitting inside ourselves. On a higher level, we're meditating, and we've come down here to do work to free souls, to liberate people who believe that this is a prison planet where they can have to be in slave debt, and they have to be in blood debt, and they have to work their father's crops for, the sins of the father. Sin in Latin just means moon, moon worship, the goddess energy. Sin is Latin for moon. So, yeah. So it's like, the feminine bloodline of your father. You're still paying off that contract, that dowry with the negative ETs, with the Anunnaki, who sent us here to get gold, because when gold's in a monoatomic state, or when it's melted down, it becomes the holy grail. It becomes a superconductor. Most conductors, like your phone that's charging, is, that's powerful stuff. But we're talking about all the wires and the cords being at 100%. So, the ancient Egyptians, the Atlanteans, the cedar races, especially the reptilians, were eating it to become superconductor. Because when you do, you can not only time jump, but like portal jump. You can like instant transmission, like Goku, to another planet. But it also gave life extension. But the price they paid for eating all this gold was that they slowly lost their soul, because your Merkaba, your light body, your chariot is basically it is a UFO. Your aura, if strengthened, becomes a craft. So and the way we used to reach these places, or the way we still reach these places, is with bliss. If you don't have enough bliss when you die, you can't travel to the next realm. Like if you don't have enough bliss, you can't make love and orgasm. Like you need bliss. Bliss is the key to immortality, to not just immortality, but to bliss is the key to having a soul. Merkaba, it's Egyptian for chariot of the soul. Like the lines of Jesus, the bloodline of Sangreal, song in the blood. They're talking about pure lines of bliss. And a lot of high dimensional beings like yourself come down to this planet like with full intention of helping, and with like I know a lot of Pleiadians that come to this planet just get hammered because they've got their heart right open, they're full of love, but then they experience all these dark people, or all these dark situations, and that's life, that you have to pay the rent there. You get your cookies and milk, but you have to be in bed by 9. It's like, trade-offs and stuff. If like money has a Babylonian curse on it, which is how they got people to start worshipping gold instead of alchemizing it. But the thing is that there was a time when science and magic were one. But I'm getting a lot of you are downloading codes for self-alchemizing, self-alchemy. You're getting a lot of your higher missions reinstated in your chakra field. You're renewing or rewriting soul contracts. You're the writer of your own destiny, okay? Like every one of you is a piece of God, and every one of you in your own right is God or a goddess. So there's some badass, people out there that's like, real divine feminines walking around, like that just shake the earth and change, all like the vibration in the room just by entering it, you know, bringing that divine mother nurturing energy, but also with that high attainment of knowledge that they've received. They're not, you know, connected. They're connected, but they're not sabotaging with the toxic feminine, or like, you know, like how you get the cat lady. You know, that's the toxic feminine. She's wanting to over nurture something that's damaged and something that doesn't care about her, you know. And you know, but the divine feminine, you know, fills her own cup and can fill the cup of her child and her lover. You know, divine masculine. A lot of divine masculine out there are, you know, getting rid of all that kind of, you know, letting go of all that warrior. They're still warriors, but they're letting go of a lot of that, you know, lower aggressive kind of needing to fight all the time to gain energy. Because, you know, when you don't know how to grow your own energy or your own source code, you know, we all need each other. But a lot of people create dramas because they're still in codependent and toxic attachment programs in their life, and they haven't healed their wounded child. And so they get energy from creating a narcissistic vampiric attachment, and a lot of like masculines that need to, you know, they have to do their work as well. They have to step into their power and be leaders, like be a leader, but still at the same time allow for the creative process of the feminine to be nurtured, and also to be of higher mind. So the pillar of strength is matched equally with the pillar of beauty. You know, they go hand in hand, beauty and strength. So, you know, when a man just falls in love with a beautiful woman, you know, there's something so beautiful about her that it gives him the strength to be an ideal divine masculine with purity and honor and honesty and integrity, and with the love of his mother, you know. So yeah, and for the LGBTQ community out there as well, it doesn't matter, you know, as long as you're balanced and in your favorable energy. If you're feminine, you know, being in your feminine energy. If you're masculine, being happy in your masculine energy. If you're, you know, if you're balanced, being just balancing the two. But yeah, so I tuned into this Goetian energy, and I did a ritual on Pluto, which is the underworld, and the body I pulled back, I actually witnessed. I went to sleep that night after the ritual, and I astraled above my body, which doesn't happen often, but I used to do it quite a lot. And I was floating in the air in my room, physically remote viewing the bed, looking down at the bed. I was in bed, and I was living out on a farm at the time, out up in the mountains near a forest. But so it was an interesting place. Like, it must have had some powerful ley lines, but yeah, it was near a moldy par, or like a barracks is what they call it, like a military placed barracks. That's where they had. But yeah, I looked down at my bed and I saw me in bed, but I wasn't me. I was the shivering werewolf. I was glowing gold. I was a dog man, but I was gold, and I had pointed ears like a Doberman. I was really skinny, and I was lying on my side like I hadn't eaten enough, and I looked like Anubis. And I researched the dog star and dog. You know, I heard about the Canaan ETs, the Canaan ETs, so the Canis, and the dog people come from Sirius, so I'm highly connected to Sirius, and so is my mother. I did some DNA readings through her bloodline, and we've come from Sirius. So at some point in my life, I've been a wolf humanoid. And or on another reality that's happening right now. But the thing is that if the Canis ET races are actually really good for healing physical injuries, and they're really good for connecting humans to animals and compassion in nature, human nature and animal nature, um, with telepathy. And they also are incredible beings, and like Anubis represented the doorway to the underworld, and like dogs guard the entrances to Hades, but which is, yeah, Pluto is the underworld, so Hades. But where was I going with this? Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I've seen I've retrieved one of those bodies, and it was a dog man, or a wolf person, and I learnt about that. So I had dreams, vivid dreams. I started dreaming about a couple of years ago, and they started getting more intense, and they were starting to get real and scary. And in one dream, I was a werewolf. I was fully grey. I was in the Arctic or something. I was in snow, and I was running really easily, like really fast. And right beside me was this ship, or this flying craft that was like in battle. I saw like blazing guns and shooting and stuff. And I had this other werewolf, this other dog man, I think it was a female, on the other side of me. And I ran and I grabbed this wolf and I picked it up, and we jumped over this 10-foot fence, wire fence, and I was in the snow. So those are some of my experiences as a super soldier. I think they're using me in another animal body, in another body, as a wolf man. But also, I've had dreams where I've been actually introduced to vampires. And I had dreams where I was constantly attacked and bitten by vampires, and I was in military gear, and I was clearing out this astral space, or this house, and it was like 30 to 100 vampires. Like, and I was in this room, and I was aware there's one, and it bit me, and then all these others came out of the wall that I couldn't see, and fucking, like, I had like 10 bites on me. And yeah, so that was one experience where it was so real that I woke up like gasping. And then I had these other dreams where I was like, I'd woken up next to a sleeping lady who looked green, and she was vampiric. She looked almost green and a little bit reptilian, a little bit dead. And it was this old dusty house. And when I woke up, when I was in the room, I looked over, and she woke up and took this huge bite out of my arm, and I was like, fuck this. And I woke up, and I had the marks on my hand. And then it happened again when I was in a motel with my dad. I went into a dream, and instantly something sunk its teeth into my arm, and I just had enough of it that I went back in. I knew I was going to sleep, and I'm like, I'm going to fight this thing, because like, I can't just give up after one attack. Like, sure, like, this is my dream, surely I have power. So I went into this dream, and I actually I was vibrating on the bed, like I felt like I was 100 bats. Like, there was all this sonar, and I was vibrating, and I was aware of this energy in the room. The two other people that I knew in the dream were asleep, and I couldn't wake them up. And I grappled with this invisible energy. But before I did, it said, use it, and they were telling me to use this sonar that I was feeling, this high vibrational energy that we can actually turn into vibration and fly. And anyway, I grabbed this energy, and it was a female. And when I grappled it, it became visual, it became physical, and it was a woman vampire with huge teeth, and she had big bat wings. And I threw her out the window, and she was flying around, and there was three others, and I saw these bat women flying. And the next thing, I instantly followed their energy and teleported into the Amazon. And I went into this tribe, this remote tribe in the Amazon, and they were a tribe of women that had never seen, that didn't live with men, but they had like huge teeth, like and they had jagged teeth, and they had really colorful dreads. Each woman had a different colored dread. Like, there was blue, like orange, green, red, purple, and I was like the first one to witness this tribe of feminine, and I reckon that my intuition told me that they were a race from pre-Atlantis or from Hollow Earth that had survived on a carnivorous diet that from ancient Lemuria, because like a lot of Lemurians went dark when um, the fall of Atlantis happened. Because a lot of Lemurians used crystal energy, and a lot of witches and magicians and natural gifted psychics have Lemurian DNA. Lemurians are 60% Pleiadian. The Pleiadians seeded the Lemurians, but Lemurians, so they were at a 60% DNA level. If you listen to Cryon, who's a really interesting channeler, but on the subject of vampires, like you listen to Douglas Dietrich, he's sure he's a third vampire, like a Dumpiel, like his mother. He said he's witnessed sanguinating a man till she's fully pregnant. She just lives off the fluid for a month, and he reckons he's the illegitimate son of Hitler, but he's Chinese, and he's got some really interesting talk shows. And he did he was a military librarian, and he had access to files on military vampires in the US, and he does a podcast on it. So if you can find it in your area, look up Douglas Dietrich, and yeah, it's a really interesting subject about the vampires. But I dealt with astral vampires, and they said they wanted to bite me, but they said we can't because you're a part of us. And I believe some of my energy is connected to that realm. Like I fully am, going towards a liquid diet, more fluid. But I'm learning something from each race. So from the vampires, I'm learning how to liquid fast, and from the wolves, I'm learning how to, perseverance, and what, the importance of a pack, and all these things. And it's all connected, because a lot of ETs do just live off, high vibrational food, or like little food. And you hear about the greys, they don't have mouths, they just absorb nutrients through their skin, they're like worker races. At some point they were, they do have, there are conscious greys out there, but a lot of them are robotically cloned to be worker bees for other ETs. So yeah, this is a deep subject that I'm getting into, but so yeah, anyway, and to do with that abduction that I had with the two greys, after they put their hands up my feet, they accessed my chakra field and tweaked something in my remote viewing abilities, because the next day I was able to fly out of my body and like zoom around the neighbor's house. And I remember going through the wall, just like that movie Ghost, like actually going through the fibers of the wooden door and out and up into the sky. And so yeah, I've had some random experiences, but I believe that in that dream where I went to the Amazon with the vampire woman, I heard the military say, "Thanks, mate. You've done a good job. We've just tracked a 300-year-old scent, and we know where they are now." So I don't know if I'm working with the military, but on the subject of telepathy, I had points where I'd microdose mushrooms for a month, and the result was that I got telepathy to a certain degree. I could hear everyone's thoughts and conversations, especially on the train, and I was able to connect to animals in fairy circles, and I ended up going walkabouts around Australia. But and on constant high doses of medicinal marijuana, at some point that was increasing telepathy as well. And another point there is that when I did do high doses of oil and medicinal marijuana, I had another experience where it was a weird time of night, and I'd gone in to buy a pack of cigarettes, and I was physically hurting to enter town, and I was like, there's something on me, or there's something, in me that's attached, or something. And as I was walking back after I got the cigarettes, after a really kind of weird 1 a.m. walk, I looked in the reflection of the mirror, sorry, of a window on the way home, and I looked at my face, and all I saw, it wasn't me. It was this. It was like a Joker smile. It was like from from jawline to jawline. It was just a big smile with teeth, and it was me. And I saw it for 2 seconds, and I freaked out, and I just kept walking because, that was, if you listen to people, super soldiers like Max Spears and stuff, you hear about, the time when we had a high civilization on Mars, and a lot of the vampiric energy came in with the masculine distortion in Atlantis from Mars. So there is a type of vampire. He also talks about this, having this vampire soul merged in with his Hollow Earth soul, his higher human self. And he's also from Sirius as well. So I'm really connected to Max Spears. I did a bit of fashion. I did a fashion piece, fashion project on the super soldiers in the SSP, and Max was my inspiration when I was studying my fashion bachelor. So I did a whole like 3-story fabric printed collection of whistleblowers and people like that. But yeah, I've lost my old channels and a lot of my work on Instagram, so I'm going to try and find stuff and upload it to Facebook and stuff. Yeah, and to Instagram and YouTube. But the thing is that I did a whole, Max Beers is an inspiration, and he talks about these different races. Like you can be a third. You can have like what Simon Park Soul has, where you can be Hollow Earth, praying mantis, and his third part of his soul is Draco. So you've got like DNA lines that come in to make up your soul. So you can have lived in 3 different races, and that's predominantly what you're made up of. But so a lot of guys will be thinking, why is this guy telling me about this? Like, well, it's really important to know, because if you can connect with your ET star lines, you can actually give them permission to intervene. And a lot of positive ETs, like even if you've got a reptilian soul, or you feel like you connect strongly with a dragon, it doesn't matter what race you are, as long as you're good and you're willing to calibrate balance and for the highest good of purity. You can use that energy or that lineage to help the planet evolve just by vibrating at your frequency. So yeah, like I wanted to talk a little about like how I had that physical chip. Well, there's also astral chips and soul chips, and I think it was like Bill Gates who was. I heard a rumor that he was working with the Zeta Reticuli and the fourth dimensional frequencies to actually soul chip everybody. So you've got to reclaim your soul by reclaiming your bloodline and reclaiming all contracts dissolve with fourth dimensionals. Because in the fifth dimension, it's not really good and evil. It's more good and evil is only a state of duality on the fourth dimension, where we're still learning about power and control and gain, stuff like a lot of people who are doing moon magic or moon rituals and stuff, like they like like they'll be using the lunar energy, but like what I was saying with the Zeta Reticuli, how they had mind swiping technology, they were using that in the astral to wipe your memory with your so when you died, not only did you die, but you went to the light, which was their technology, and then you would be mind swiped and sent back down from the moon and into another body. But the Atlanteans, especially the Aboriginals, remember 2 moons in Atlantis. So the original moon that connected feminine to the grid lines on the planet and sacred feminine meridian points, that was blown up, and the satellite moon that's up there now which is an exact replica of, the Death Star. It is a satellite. It's it's connected feminine to the water, to the magnetic lines of the oceans, and so you can still tune into the original feminine energy, but you just got to do it in cycle with, mastering your emotional body and your psyche. So yeah, I wanted to say that you've got to consciously say out loud that you want to reclaim. You're a royal human. You reclaim your bloodline and dissolve all contracts, and you own your own soul. So I think it was Bill Gates that was working to soul. I don't know how he was planning to soul chip people, but like the government has technology where they can actually put you in a chair. Like if you look into the Montauk project and the time chair or the jump chair, they were going into the fourth dimension and into parallel realities and into the future and to other locations in space with these super soldier people, super soldier kind of mind control victims. A lot of people out there are getting their memories back from this stuff. So I've had some really interesting experiences, and I'm going to talk about them on YouTube in the next video. But I wanted to pull a bit of tarot for anyone who feels that they may be that they may have been under MK Ultra mind control, or under you may have contracts with ET families, and you are trying to work out how to leave the fourth dimensional contracts and enter the fifth dimensional contract with higher source. So I'm just going to see what I get. But so this is an angelic card deck. But yeah, so you may have ancestral curses with addictions that you're trying to remove. You're stepping out of toxic situations, toxic people that only want to fight and only gain energy from your loss. So you're learning to step into your power. I'm getting that right now, guys. Also divine feminine stepping into their power, and I'm getting a lot of high vibrational masculine that are going to tune into this, because it's really interesting. The balanced masculine will find peace and connection with the earth. King Arthur had a connection with the earth. That's what made him special. He was the king between the link to the fairy realm and the human realm. He worked a lot with Merlin and Hollow Earth. Yeah, and I don't know, just a quick subject on that, on the flat Earth. It's interesting to think that we could be in a bubble, or a borealis or something. But yeah, that people complaining they can't get past Antarctica. I believe there is portals into the dimensional pockets, high dimensional pockets in Hollow Earth. There are ETs living underground, and they live in different vibrations. So you can be on a planet in the fifth dimension, and people in the third dimension won't even see you. You could be on a moon in Orion, on one of their moons in the nebula, and if you're on a higher vibration, unless those people have those coordinates, they won't be able to reach you. So yeah, a lot of I gather if you're watching this, it's because you're a high vibrational soul, but also an old soul. So I'm getting a lot of you're clearing a lot of karmic energy as we step into the new Atlantean energy, or the new Lemurian energy, the fifth dimensional frequency. But yeah, comment below if you feel you're connected to the super soldier community or the U.F.O community, and also if you just like tarot and you just found this video and you're enjoying it. Please, just comment, and it would be really interesting to hear the feedback. The favorable God, divine grace, cures rage, pestilence, absolves the guilty. Yeah, Six of Pentacles. Okay, so I can see that you're growing abundance at the moment and dreaming a lot about what you're going to do with your foundations and your creative manifestations on earth. This angel's holding two rings, they look like two rings on a pillow, so that they could be two crowns, or someone might be rebuilding their royal self or stepping into divine power, and also they could be wedding. Right, they look like the you know how the Celtics used to wear their jewelry around their wealth around their body as jewelry, like they would have gold necklaces, and so these could be wedding crowns, or it could be that you are at an age where you're ready for a stable relationship and you're questioning, are you ready, for the real deal? You are. So I'm seeing someone's got rings here. It could also be that you are, you have enough energy for two people. So there's divine union here, but you're building it because it's the Six of Pentacles. So someone's building their divine body at the moment. We've got the Emperor. So safe travel at the moment. It's a good time for safe travel. And political authority gives safe travel and protects against conspiracies. So there you go. I'm talking about the U.F.Os, and we've got protects against conspiracies. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just a really old soul that's done a lot of study on the unknown world, and I'm just very open-minded, and I'm sharing my experiences with the way that I feel they should be shared. And but the Emperor, so someone's in divine masculine authority. Someone could be looking up at authority or growing into an authoritative figure, or a place where they're stable enough to run their own home, or maybe you've got your first apartment by yourself, you're stepping out into new ventures, but you're getting to a point where you've got aspects of a king here. So it could be I'm getting someone's learning a lot from their elders, connected to a father figure. Someone's learning a lot from ancient wisdom. We've got a King of Wands here, merciful judge. Eloquence gives answers to those in doubt. So a lot of you seeking answers will find it. A lot of you are being driven, like your passion is knowledge, or you gravitate towards people that you can learn more about. So you've come in passionately. This could be romantically as well. King of Wands energy is someone's activated their fire stick, and they're running on their power as a active masculine force. Their boom boom stick, they've been they may be highly sexually activated with these fifth dimensional shifts, stepping into divine masculine energy. I'm seeing someone's working on them. I'm seeing you guys are working on your foundation, especially with your belief systems and your craft. So you're working on your craft. You might be stepping into a role where you're actually creating something that creates an income for you, and also investing a lot more in the unknown, especially starseeds out there. I see you're connecting a lot with you're actually interested in these fields or subjects, and you're actually working to create a foundation around your connection to your star family and what your light tribe is actually guiding you to do. Yeah, we got the Five of Swords, so there could be arguments and stuff that are unknown, or disturbances in the force. Desire to know and the acquisition of wisdom. So maybe your desire to know things is causing ruckuses, and you know your wisdom is actually creating dissonance. But yeah, you're seeing the answers, because regardless of what the crowd's doing, you know, this angel's pointing out over there, like they've seen the source of the aggravation. So you might be dissolving a lot of negative attachments at the moment, especially with your connection to the 3D realm of like control and society's demands. Like I had a really wise friend who told me once that what you need to do, like a snake, is shed society before you can grow into it. So like a snake sheds its skin, you know, like you got to shed, like society's a condition, and even though humans make up society, well, he actually said it's socialism, so he sheds socialism. And I had that experience on DMT where I shed being a human, like I shed my skin of society, socialism, being conditioned to, you know, in certain ways. So a lot of you might be thinking about using psychedelics as a way of activating. It's divine right if you choose to do it. It's a very sacred medicine. It's not to be played with or used recreationally. It is a activating DNA activating plant medicine. But some of you might be thinking about going to a retreat, or you know, going to get some negative programs removed through psychedelics. Make sure you research what you're planning to take, and that you're with safe people, and with you know, that it feels right, that you know that there's a shaman there to take you through the ceremonies. Seeing Eight of Wands, yeah, in the present. So there's a lot of collective downloads coming. There's a lot of like 3 a.m. light bulb moments. I'm seeing communication. Grandeur makes one passionate towards bliss and God. So the great exalted one. So this angel's playing the violin. So a lot of you are just like, I'm getting musicians here. Like a lot of you are channeling your experiences into your music and into poetry and journaling, and maybe music's actually getting you through these hard times, getting you through the birthing process of your better self. Music could be your rock and pillar. You know, like, you know, you turn on music, you have a good day. I love trance music. I love putting it on in the morning every now and then and just listening to a really good session. So yeah, maybe you're reaching your inner child or your highest passion through music. Maybe in love, this person is almost like music to your ears. Someone is almost like, you know, I'm getting a rock star vibe here, and I'm getting like a goddess vibe. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. Light of understanding of college, acquires knowledge and cures illnesses. So a lot of you might be self-doctoring and learning about dietary supplements and fasting and curing illnesses. A lot of the ascension, you do get ascension symptoms like the flu, and you know, some of your body cramps or sore stomach or body pains or a knot in your back, you know, can be connected to relationships and also to past life deaths in relationships. There's a lot of unlocking of the body that happens as you work on yourself, but I'm seeing a lot of you are learning about self-care, um, and also heading towards something financially stable as well, or you're financially comfortable and you're in a grounded space to have a relationship. Yeah, so that card, Six of Swords. So a lot of you guys are moving away from a situation. You're aware that a situation wasn't working out for you, and in the traditional right away, the Six of Swords are in the boat. So you're aware of the problems. Just be careful that you don't take them into the future with you. But it's slow progress. Like as you move on to a new energy, eventually you'll be able to remove these swords from the boat, but not while you're on water because you'll sink. But yeah, you're learning about perception of unity, protects against accidents, heals the sick. So you might be moving towards a more unified place in your life, consciousness or group of family and tribe, heals the sick. So yeah, I'm getting some of you just have healed something in your emotional body, and also removing extraterrestrial attachments that link you to lower realms of your shadow side, and you're feeding your light body, your higher self more. You might be doing this with someone, you might be moving on with someone. We got the Six of Cups. So there's and for those of you in relationships, it's harmonious, and it's perfect relationship where you're even role playing parent dynamics. Like you're really comfortable in your relationship. Motivation lifts up those who have fallen and humiliated. So you might be sticking up for people who feel degraded or humiliated and disgraced. You may be someone's hero. You may be someone's hero, goddess. You might, if you're a feminine, you might just melt like the strongest man, and you might be someone's strength. Like when they enter the room, even though they've got all muscles and stuff, you just melt their strength, like the strength card, and you're the power. Your healing energy is power. Getting you that you guys are natural healers. Yeah, so I'm getting the Two of Swords. So someone's still in an uncomfortable situation. They've blindfolded themselves, and they're being protective. And this is a good time to meditate and go into oneself. But this is also breaking the circle. Lifts opposing barriers, brings victory. So through with the Two Swords here in this card, she's actually freed herself. This is the first tarot deck where I've seen the two of Swords where she's actually freed herself. So yeah, you're breaking the circle. You might be breaking out of a circle. At the round table, the galactic round table. You might be lifts opposing barriers. There might be barriers to communication that gets unlocked, and there's a victory in your journey. But things are moving for you. I'm getting that, there could be moments where you feel stuck or in a vibration, and that's what I'm helping to lift. But also, you're doing that yourself. You have the key to shift this energy, and it's gonna, what they say, where you only experience the dark, because it's every time you get pulled back into the dark, you're actually getting pulled back, because you're going to be slingshotted into the light. There's only so much time you can spend learning in the dark before you enter the light. So it was a really hard year for me last year. Very hard lessons. went to rehab, went through all sorts of you know unlocking trauma, addictive personalities, and healing a lot of past hurts from addictive energies that I had. So yeah, I don't know how last year was for you, but I'm so glad 2024 is here. It's a new, so we're being slingshotted into new energy. This is a new timeline. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to pull from that deck. But I will pull some animal cards just to see what's happening. We've got the crow. So this is Mercury energy, this is air sign energy. This is like the crow's the messenger for the magician. He's holding the world there. You might be clutching like this pearl. Looks like he's got an opal. You might just be holding on to your life, your abundance, your magic. The crow's a symbol of magic and a messenger. In Viking mythology of the goddess of the dead, but also, yeah, I also like the Crow movie. I think Crow's a symbol of the phoenix rebirth. But yeah, you're clutching a hold of your light codes and your highest timeline, and you've got it. You've got it. So. I got the camel. So this is like camels famous for being able to traverse the desert with a hump full of liquid. They're incredible travelers. So you might be on a journey at the moment, and it's important to nourish yourself, nourish your soul, drink heaps of fluids, especially if you're detoxing old programs and attachments and self-defeating programs. Like drink a lot of fluid, you can flush it out, and it'll give you the energy you need to travel through to the other side of the desert. You can go as far as you want, but you're going to make it because you've got the reserves. So we got the elephant. So here's the light again, here's the fire. And elephants remember everything. So they have a really powerful memory. There may be something you've remembered and you're holding on to it as like a part of who you are now. But you're holding that eternal flame of love and you're carrying it through the rain. And there's a red gem on this elephant's third eye. You might be fully activated. Red's an interesting color because you associate red with the root chakra. So I'm getting a lot of you are aligning your root chakra with your crown chakra. He's carrying his flames through emotional energy. So there's water here too. So you may be experiencing a lot of emotional rain, like maybe it's just the vibe of the day. It could be other people that needed a lot of healing. It could just be emotional upheaval or your own emotions, especially if you're dealing with issues with choosing pathways. But it's like you balance your root chakra and your crown chakra, so your sexuality is in its higher power. You're not just using it for gain. You're not just using it to one up. You're not just doing it for instant gratification. This is like a lifelong gratification. This is a lifelong journey. So I'm seeing soulmate energy here because elephants represent soulmates. It's like you're heading towards a soulmate, and also the journey of like the lovers is that once you love yourself, you're able to step into king or queen energy to love your partner fully. So and elephants are kings of the jungle. I'll get one more bonus card here. I feel like we should have at least 4 animals. So we got the oyster. So yeah, it's like that crow, like you're clutching your pearls, but it's also important with the oyster energy. you've got a hard shell where you might be a beautiful person inside. This could be the other person's energy, but I'm seeing on a galactic level, maybe you've grasped, codes and, dream points in your meridian body that you're actually charging up now, and it's like you're getting a lot of rest and you're recouping like this oyster, and you're powering your pearl or working on your dreams. It could also represent sexuality, like maybe someone's about to open up, or you're about to open up to someone, or you're being closed off, but you're fully aware of the magic inside. So wow. So we got two more that came out there. We've got the Cobra, which is like, that could be the other person's energy. It could be a standoffish energy. It could be wisdom as well, because the Cobra represents wisdom. Krishna mastered the Cobra. He harnessed his Kundalini. He harnessed his sexual prana. And this is someone stepping into Christ consciousness, or ascended Mary consciousness. I believe they're all ascended masters. I highly revere, love, and respect Jesus as an ascended master. Also, on the subject of ascended masters, when I was channeling this reading, I thought I got the halls of the Mente, and that's to do with the sacred learning temples that Thoth was talking about in the books, the Emerald Tablets, and Saint Germain actually talks about the halls of the Mente and his journey to becoming an immortal and an alchemist. He walks through the Green Lake of Fire for 5 days, and reaches these places to activate his different chalices, and he has these visions of swirling tables with like 3 perfect flames spinning around a table with a cup on it. Like Saint Germain's a really interesting spiritual master, and he's the master of the purple flame for Reiki. So purple flame is really good for transmutation. So with the Cobra, the wisdom and the sexual energy I'm getting, this is you on the spider web, and you are actually, you're happy in your nest, in your web, feeling your way out through the timeline. So you're in a safe place at the moment. You're very intuitive. Spiders about wisdom as well, and you're building you're connecting to your past lives, connecting all your wisdom, connecting to your light tribe, your extraterrestrial family, to your angelics, to the fairy world, to your family, to your lovers, to your love, to your highest timeline, and you're building a very sensitive matrix. So it's like this Kundalini activation has pushed you into almost, because the spider's got 8 legs, it's the 8 infinity magic. So it's also the grandma, mother energy, the weaver, weaving destiny. In the SSP, some of the soldier disclosure interviews I've listened to, there is someone who's encountered a giant spider underground that the military are holding, and it's like it's a huge spider. It's like it would have to be like 5 stories high, and it's trapped in this web, and they've got it in this energetic prison, but it's so powerful that it's holding the whole universe together. Some believe that arachnids weave the universe. And then you get into all the Sumerian scripture and texts about the spiders of Set, the spiders of the underworld, that coming out of the Matrix. A lot of people seeing spiders, and the spider's a sacred symbol, but it's also in the 4th dimension they can represent the Matrix robots. But I like to put good energy on, but there is a collective fear of spiders, but I like to put good energy on all living creatures, because there are good and bad spider ETs out there. But if you've ever watched Lord of the Rings, you know that was really cool. With that was based on disclosure stuff with the giant spider that you know super soldiers have encountered. You know the soldiers that are in the space fleet have encountered spiders on Mars and also the moon and other planets. They, you know, I've seen the trail cam vids of cryptids where you know giant spiders crossing the path. Um, so they are an ancient species. You know, like you may have spider DNA. There's probably 100% that you have spider DNA in your junk DNA, which they call it junk DNA. But you know, this is a very intuitive person. It's also a person that's able to build a home and build a structured life that's also light, because spider webs are flexible but strong and they can be rebuilt. So you may be rebuilding your web, connecting to people on the web, to mentors and to people that you can enhance your knowledge of your journey, to self-empowerment and to enlightenment. Yeah, so someone's almost in a state of they've raised all their chakras to the point where they're working with all of them, because you got the 7 chakras, but there's also the soul chakra as well. So yeah, and there are a lot of creatives out there as well. So if you're creating something, work on it like the spider. You know, like have a connecting web there. You know, if something goes wrong that day, you can go down that web. You know, like you've got all these avenues that are actually strengthened by the power of the circle, of the spiral. Yeah, um, so I'll pull 2 more cards before I close this reading because it's quite a long reading. Um, just But we got the snake, which is full circle energy. So here there's the 432 flower of life and the snake's guarding it. So that's like a high frequency. So here's the cobra energy. It's like your whole root chakra and crown chakra are connected there. His head and tail. And it almost looks like the web. So it's like the reptilian or the dragon energy in you is actually guarding the sacred garden of internal bliss or peace. You're guarding, you know, high, you know, that natural high frequency. And then we've got the bat. So this is an interesting energy because bats work on sonar. So it might be that you're communicating with someone through music or sounds, or that you're really, like, if you're like me, you're highly autistic, you're very highly, you know, sound sensitive, you know, like with some of the, you know, human defects of being an extraterrestrial soul. You know, you're you know, you might be, this also is an air sign card. So I've got water energy. Sorry, I've got air sign energy, fire, and fire and water with the oyster. But this bat is almost, you might be working a lot more at night, and bats communicate with you know, sounds we can't hear. So you may be communicating with your frequencies, and it's also a card. This card encourages you to break up the cycles. So you might be having like a rebirth, but it could be happening, you know, between the times of dusk and dawn. So you might be highly active at night, or highly active, like you might get up early like the bat and be able to get into the day before other people do. But the bat in people is actually working with this lunar energy, because there's the moon behind this card. So a lot of you are, you know, working with these natural feminine energies, all these naturally magnetic charged energies, and you're getting a lot more done because you're working with your sonar, and you're traveling around. You know, this is social networking. This is also you know, being able to see what others can't. Bats can see in the dark. That's the advantage of sonar. So you're able to see stuff that others can't, and it's like you're working in high time to it's like you've got a nest, or like you've got this this grounded energy where you're traversing through the desert like the elephant, the camel, and then I'm seeing this air sign, which is like it's seeing the goal or the upgrade, and it's flying in to be in like opportunity for love or spiritual awakening. But you may be doing a lot of like this is also nighttime activity, so dreaming, and intuitive downloads. So yeah. I'm gonna get one more animal card because I feel like that's really interesting with the bat. Yeah, as I thought. So even though like you may be an air sign or a fire sign or a water sign or an earth sign here, because there's all of them here. Yeah, I'm seeing that you're guarding everything with your strength, with your life, with your fire. This is the dragon. So it's like this awakening is happening mentally, physically, emotionally, at a holographic level as well as a manifester. You're like the dragon. You're guarding the entrance to Agartha. You're guarding the entrance to Hollow Earth. You're guarding this Garden of Eden, or this tranquil energy, and maybe that you take flight like the bat, but you're actually a dragon. Like you go out there and you really power through your mission. It might be that you have the heart of the dragon. So yeah, I mean, maybe the dragon gifted the fire to the elephant. Maybe you're someone's strength to get them through the desert, to get them through this rain. Or you could be, you've traveled so long that you've got the fire and you're protecting it like the dragon. But yeah. I'm just gonna pull 3 oracle cards for love. But there's the dragons, there's dragon ley lines on the planet, and these, the dragons are still in 5D. They're still able to operate outside the human eye, and there's a lot of like ancestral song lines on the planet where you're connected to the dragons. So it might be that you're connecting to ley lines, or you're getting really grounded at the moment, and connecting with your ancestors. Actions speak loudly. Express your love through actions. So yeah, the dragon energy is like about showing it, So yeah. So this woman's riding like a bird. She's showing her love to the world. She's got like energy coming out of her hands, her love. So like the feminine energy here, this might be a sign for to step into your feminine energy and show your love. Especially if you're being a masculine and you're being, sorry about that. Oh, my back just unlocked it. Yeah, so express your thoughts. Actions speak loudly. So, what you're doing is showing love at the moment. So this could be a hint for feminines that, what you're doing is showing love. Express your love through actions. So you might be wanting to show your love in some way to the world or to your partner. Look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. So maybe you're in feminine energy. You don't realize you have the, the dragon collective behind you as well. Giving you the strength. Or you may be masculine, but you may not realize you're strong. But this lady's looking at herself. She's in 50 and she's looking at herself in the world through that looking glass, and she's seeing herself dancing. So you might be observing yourself from higher self, and it's like you need confirmation that you're strong enough to do this, but you're actually able to manifest your dreams. And looks like she's wearing a crystal crown, so might be a good time to get some more crystals to to enhance your dreams. I know that if you put them under your pillow, especially rose quartz, you have really nice dreams, because there's crystal quartz in our third eye, the same as that there's in the TV that they use to show images and transfer, radio frequencies with, information on them. The same crystals that are in the TV are in your third eye. So, we are made of stars, we are made of earth, we are made of minerals. You are limitless. You can do anything you choose. So this is almost like the fortune card for me. There's two swans here, so I'm getting soulmate energy. Maybe you and your soulmate are coming into divine union and you can do anything that you choose. But if you haven't found your soulmate, like this unicorn's leading you to divine love. But I am getting, a really good energy of magic. So there's a lot of magic happening at the moment. You trust in the magic. That's all I can say is trust in divine power. Trust in your connection to the limitless. Yeah. So, well, that is the end of the reading, and I hope you enjoyed my information about my contacts with extraterrestrials and Lemuria and super soldiers. And if you've seen this video and you like it, please comment. And I need all the help I can get because the channel's still building. So just every like, every subscription helps me grow, and I can fucking do these videos for you and really connect out there. I'm an ET star child, so at the moment I haven't been able to hold down a full-time job with all the activations that I've been doing. I'm naturally creative, so this is where my passion is, and I'm leaning into my passion. I hope you follow your truth as well. Love everyone, and I hope that some of you have removed some doubts, and any emotional disturbances have been disrupted. If you're still looking for more healing after this video, I recommend a cord cutting ASMR just to lighten up your aura, and that will help you find, you're like a plant. You've got to trim and fuss over your leaves and your apples energetically. So yeah, thank you, and I'll see me on the next video. I'm Prince of Lemuria, Phoenix, Prince Excalibur, and help me rebuild this beautiful world to a better place so that we can go into the stars together.